What's up guys, today's video is on Autel'S Evo Nano Plus Review 2023. The Autel'S Evo Nano Plus is an ultralight drone that you can fly without dealing with FAA registration. Its 4K 30 camera is capable and it supports obstacle detection, but it's not quite as refined as lesser-priced rivals. We don't think of ounces and grams as a feature point for many products, but the Nano Plus S 249 grams takeoff weight matters for drone pilots. For those flying in the US, it makes it a bit easier to get started as you won't have to bother with an FAA registration fee. Instead, you simply need to take an online knowledge test. And for pilots in other regions, Canada and Europe are much less strict for ultra-light drones. Autel markets the Nano Plus in its signature orange color scheme, which we received for review, as well as Arctic White, Blazing Red, or Deep Space Gray. I do like the colorful orange version, which stands out clearly against a blue sky. It's easier to spot from a distance when compared with a gray drone, especially on overcast days. Plastic construction goes a long way to keeping weight down. The materials used in the Nano Plus are lighter grade than the composite material DJI uses for its Mini 3 Pro, but fall well shy of being called shoddy. The propeller arms fold snugly into the body for storage and transport, and the battery locks solidly into place. Autel markets the Nano Plus on its own for $949, a configuration that includes the drone, remote, and a single flight battery. PC Mag received the premium kit for review, a $1,099 bundle that adds 2 additional batteries, a multi-charger, and a small carrying case. The multi-charger is useful and works with an included USB-C plug, but while the bag is well made, it's a little tight to hold the drone and accessories comfortably. There's no internal storage in the Nano Plus, a slight surprise given that the larger Evo Lite Plus comes with 6 GB of memory. Instead, you need to add a microSD card to save video. The card slot is on the rear of the airframe, just below the battery and next to the USB-C data port. The Nano Plus doesn't support in-body charging of its battery. You need to use the included external charger to replenish it. The Nano Plus is rated for about 28 minutes per flight by Autel, and got close to that in our test flights. Our tests indicate that real-world performance is closer to 26 minutes of flight time, though how you fly your drone and ambient conditions come into play. The DJI Mini 3 Pro is a little better performer here, with up to 34 minutes of airtime with its standard battery. SkyApp. The Nano Plus is the first in a new series from Autel, but drone pilots who are familiar with the brand may remember the old Evo 2, one of the few drones to ship with a remote with a built-in screen for camera view and control. That design is out. If you want a small drone that you can use without a smartphone, the DJI Mini 3 Pro is available with the touchscreen DJI RC remote for $909. The new remote sports updated USB-C connectors for both charging and plugging your phone in, as well as removable joysticks so it can fit into the drone's extra snug premium satchel. All in all, it's a good remote control, though I have a minor complaint. There's no onboard storage compartment for the removable joysticks, so you have to take extra care to keep track of them. The Autel Sky app is a free download for Android and iOS. The remote's phone clip handled both phones, even when using a case with the chunky iPhone 8 Plus. Visualized using a virtual fuel gauge in addition to numerical percentage and remaining flight time readouts. If the gauge goes to yellow, you're in danger of not getting all the way home to the launch point on your remaining battery, so keep an eye on it. The battery gauge isn't the only safety feature of note. The Nano Plus includes a GPS to determine its location, and supports automated return to home in the event of low battery or loss of connection to the remote control signal. The drone also supports downward, forward, and rear obstacle avoidance sensors. These effectively detect obstructions within the flight path and stop the Nano Plus in place. That's as far as the functionality goes. However, as the Nano Plus isn't quite as smart as the DJI Mini 3 Pro in that regard, the Mini 3 Pro is able to adjust its flight path to avoid obstacles, not just halt in place. DJI also puts an ADS-B receiver in the Mini 3 Pro, which is able to warn you if there are manned aircraft flying near your drone, not included in the Nano Plus. On the other hand, pilots who may be frustrated by DJI's strict fly-safe geofence will find an Autel drone to be a breath of fresh air. It won't prevent takeoff based on airspace restrictions, so make sure to double-check the FAA before UFLY site to make sure drones are allowed in your neighborhood. RYYB color. The Nano Plus uses a new camera for Autel, a Type 1/1.28 CMOS chip matched with a wide 23mm f/1.9 lens. The camera supports 4K 30 video with standard HDR or 8-bit log color and can snap 12MP RAW or DNG stills, as well as 50MP JPGs. The high pixel count isn't the camera's only differentiating feature. On a technical side, the color filter array uses a RYYB color filter array rather than the more typical RGB. Yellow filters transmit a bit more light than green, for a picture quality advantage in dim light. In practice, I found it to be a modest benefit for video and JPG imaging, but it makes working with raw DNG images a little tricky. In Adobe Lightroom Classic, reds shift to yellow, something that's quite noticeable when comparing an early morning sunrise scene in JPG format with DNG. Adobe doesn't offer a custom profile to match up with the RYYB color, but if you're savvy enough with Lightroom to install a custom profile, you can lean on one made by Lodge Photo. It does a better job with colors. I used it to make a third version of the same image below. And surrounding landscape, I was quite underwhelmed by the 50 MP output. For complex detail like foliage and grass, the downsampled 12 MP pictures look better. But for urban and suburban aerials, as well as close-up scenes, the 50 MP results are clearer, with crisper views of houses and parked cars. But for urban and suburban aerials, as well as close-up scenes, the 50 MP results are clearer, with crisper views of houses and parked cars. I'd still say that, for most everyone, 12 MP is the way to go, but you may find the high pixel count option useful for specialized cases like inspection work. For video, the 4K 30 footage offers good-looking, accurate color, and the 3-axis gimbal makes for perfectly smooth aerial footage. You also get a useful digital zoom. Its maximum 16x magnification is a bit blurry, but at its mid-range setting the results are clear. If you want more control over how your video looks, you can swap to a log capture profile. It's only available with automatic exposure settings, though, which is puzzling as it's a feature with more appeal for experts who are likely to use manual setting. An HDR profile is available too, which is also restricted to auto mode. In addition to basic photo and video modes, the Nano Plus has a few other capture modes, some more useful than others. We like hyperlapse, where the drone takes a series of images and puts them together in a quick time-lapse video. And there are a handful of automated quick shots as well as dynamic subject tracking. A portrait mode, which is supposed to blur backgrounds like a smartphone camera, is less useful. I've tried it on a few different Autel drones and it doesn't really work. All in all, the camera is a slightly mixed bag. For stills, out-of-camera picture quality is great, and while the 50 MP capture mode isn't needed for every shot, it doesn't take anything away either. But it's very hard to get the right color of the camera if you want to use raw DNG. For video, the 4K 30 footage is clear, colorful, and stable, but overprocessed. Little drone that could. Autel drones have their fans, and I can see why. The Evo Nano Plus is a peppy little flyer that is sized well for travel, light enough to avoid FAA registration requirements, and offers up ample battery life. Add in safety features like a reliable GPS and obstacle avoidance sensors, and there's a lot to like. Even so, the Nano Plus has some drawbacks. Its retail price is a bit high when compared with the DJI Mini 3 Pro. And Autel's offering simply isn't as sturdy or slickly engineered as DJI's. Likewise, the Mini 3 Pro wins out in picture quality, with better-looking 4K 60 and 10-bit log video. If you're wanting to try a brand that isn't DJI, however, Autel's drones are about as good as it gets. The Evo Nano Plus is safe to fly and has a very capable camera. It's an especially good choice for beginner pilots. The Nano Plus isn't quite as well polished or engineered as the Mini 3 Pro, which remains our editor's choice, but it still offers plenty for drone, photography, and video enthusiasts looking for an alternative to DJI. Pros: 4K 30 video with gimbal stabilization. Camera supports 12 MP and 50 MP photos. Automated quick shots and hyperlapse. Up to 28 minutes of flight time. 3-way obstacle sensors. GPS with return to home functionality. Cons: raw photos are tricky to process. Overprocessed look to video. Log profile is only 8-bit. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please hit the like button. If you want to see more videos, hit the subscribe button. And if you have something to say, please leave a comment.